Do you hate waking up early? Does your alarm feel like an enemy? Have you ever told yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up early and start fresh, only to hit snooze again and again? You're not alone. For so many people, mornings feel like a battle. The alarm goes off, but your body refuses to move. You fight against the urge to stay in bed, only to give in. Just 5 more minutes, then 10, and suddenly, you're rushing through your morning stressed, overwhelmed, and already behind. And the worst part? You promised yourself this wouldn't happen again. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. But here's the truth. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m. It's about waking up better, with clarity, discipline, and control over your day. And that's exactly what the ancient Stoics mastered. For over 2,000 years, some of the greatest thinkers and leaders, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, followed a different approach to mornings. They didn't rely on motivation. They didn't chase the perfect routine. Instead, they built principles, timeless habits that allowed them to start each day with purpose, focus, and mental strength. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to apply those same principles, even if you're not a morning person. This isn't about extreme routines. This isn't about forcing yourself into habits that don't fit your life. This is about creating a stoic morning routine that works for you, one that helps you wake up feeling focused, disciplined, and ready for the day ahead. By the end of this video, you'll know why waking up early isn't the key and what actually matters instead, how to eliminate morning stress with simple stoic techniques, a step-by-step guide to starting your day with discipline, energy, and purpose. No gimmicks, no unnecessary suffering, just practical wisdom that actually works, because your mornings shape your life. And if you're tired of waking up feeling lost, unmotivated, or stuck in bad habits, it's time to take control. So stay with me until the end, and let's build a morning routine that actually works. Let's dive in. Why is waking up early so hard? You set your alarm with the best intentions. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up on time. No excuses. But then morning comes, the alarm rings, and your first thought isn't, time to seize the day. It's more like, 5 more minutes. You hit snooze, then you hit again, and before you know it, you're rushing through your morning, barely awake, already feeling behind. So why does this keep happening? Is it just laziness? A lack of willpower? No. There's actually a scientific and psychological reason behind why waking up early is so difficult, and understanding it is the first step to fixing it. The real reason waking up feels impossible. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort and seek immediate pleasure. In other words, when that alarm goes off, your brain isn't thinking about long-term success. It's thinking about survival. At that moment, staying in bed feels safe, warm, and comfortable. Waking up feels like a threat, like stepping into the cold, facing responsibilities, and leaving behind the security of sleep. Your brain is designed to take the easy route, and that's why the snooze button exists. It's not just a button, it's an escape, a way to delay the inevitable, even if it's just for a few more minutes. But here's the problem. Hitting snooze doesn't actually help you feel more rested. In fact, it makes waking up even harder. The science behind the snooze trap. Every time you fall back asleep after hitting snooze, your brain starts a new sleep cycle. But here's the catch. These cycles last 90 to 120 minutes. So when your alarm goes off again after just 5 or 10 minutes, you're waking up in the middle of deep sleep. And that groggy, exhausted feeling you get after snoozing, that's called sleep inertia. It can take up to 4 hours to fully wear off. That's why, even after an extra 30 minutes of sleep, you still feel drained. Your body doesn't need more sleep in small chunks. It needs consistent, quality rest. The myth of the 5 a.m. routine. You've probably heard it before. Successful people wake up at 5 a.m. If you want to be productive, you need to do the same. But that's not entirely true. Yes, some successful people wake up early, but many don't. The key isn't when you wake up, it's how you wake up. A well-structured morning at 7 a.m. is far more effective than a chaotic, miserable one at 5 a.m. The goal isn't to force yourself into an unnatural schedule. The goal is to create a morning routine that works for you, one that sets you up for success, no matter what time you wake up. And that's exactly what the Stoics understood. They didn't chase trends. They didn't force themselves into unrealistic expectations. They focused on mastering their mindset and controlling what they could, and that's what you're going to learn next. So now that you know why waking up is so hard, the next step is figuring out how to fix it. How do you wake up feeling clear, focused, and ready to take on the day without forcing yourself into painful routines? That's what we're about to dive into next. Let's go. Stoic principle number 1. Control what you can. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? For most people, it's a flood of worries, deadlines, emails, responsibilities. The overwhelming feeling that the day is already getting away from them. But the Stoics believed in something different. They taught that we should only focus on what is within our control and let go of everything else. Because the moment you start your day reacting to things outside of your control, you've already lost. You're waking up as a passenger in your own life instead of the driver. And that's exactly what makes mornings feel so chaotic. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it this way: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, you'll find strength. And this applies directly to your mornings. You can't control how you feel when you wake up. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll feel unmotivated. That's normal. But you can control what you do next. You can control whether you reach for your phone first thing in the morning or take a deep breath and set your own pace. You can control whether you hit snooze again or decide to get up and start moving. You can control whether your first thoughts of the day are filled with anxiety or filled with gratitude for the chance to wake up and live another day. These small decisions may not seem important, but they are, because they set the tone for everything that follows. Imagine 2 different mornings. In the first, you wake up, immediately check your phone, see a stressful email, and already feel behind before you even get out of bed. In the second, you wake up, take a deep breath, sit up, and remind yourself, I control how I respond to this day. No matter what happens, I am in control of my actions and my mindset. Which version of yourself do you think will have a better day? The choice is always yours. And that's the power of controlling what you can. You don't need to control everything. You just need to control yourself. And when you do that, your mornings and your entire life become easier. Stoic principle number 2, avoid unnecessary suffering. Mornings are hard enough, but most people make them even harder without realizing it. They stay up late, scrolling through their phones, knowing they have to wake up early. They hit snooze 3, 4, even 5 times, making themselves more tired instead of more rested. They wake up in a rush, skipping breakfast, running out the door, and starting their day in chaos. And then they wonder why mornings feel so stressful. But here's the truth. Most of this suffering is self-inflicted. The Stoics had a simple rule: don't add unnecessary pain to your life. Life will bring enough challenges on its own. Why make it harder than it needs to be? Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, put it this way: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And that applies directly to your mornings. Think about it. How much of your morning stress is caused by things you could have avoided? How many times have you woken up exhausted? Not because of bad luck, but because you stayed up too late watching something meaningless. How many times have you started your day feeling overwhelmed? Not because of what happened, but because you picked up your phone and flooded your mind with stress before even getting out of bed. How many times have you blamed the morning when the real problem started the night before? The Stoics remind us, pain is inevitable, but suffering is often a choice. So how do you apply this principle? You eliminate the unnecessary struggle. Instead of making your mornings harder, you make them easier by removing the things that drain your energy before the day even begins. That means getting enough sleep, so waking up isn't a battle. Placing your alarm across the room, so you don't fall into the snooze trap. Avoiding your phone first thing in the morning, so your mind stays clear. Preparing the night before, so your morning starts smoothly, not in a rush. None of this is complicated, but it is powerful. Because when you remove the unnecessary struggle, mornings stop feeling like a punishment. They become a foundation for a better day. So ask yourself, what small changes can you make today to remove unnecessary suffering from your mornings? Because once you do, everything else becomes easier. And that's exactly what the Stoics were trying to teach us. Now, let's move on to the next principle: how small victories in the morning can build lifelong discipline. Stoic principle number 3, small wins build discipline. Most people think discipline is about making big, life-changing decisions. Waking up at 5 a.m., working out every day, cutting out all distractions. But the truth is, discipline doesn't start with big things. It starts with small victories. The Stoics understood that greatness isn't built in a single moment of extreme effort. It's built in the small, consistent actions you take every day. And your mornings are the perfect place to start. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "Do what needs to be done without expecting praise or reward. The reward is in the action itself." That's what discipline really is. It's not about waiting for motivation. It's about training yourself to take action, even when you don't feel like it. And the easiest way to do that? Start small. Think about your morning. The moment you wake up, you have a choice. You can hit snooze, or you can get up right away. You can check your phone, or you can take a deep breath and set your own focus. You can let the morning control you, or you can control your morning. These might seem like tiny, insignificant choices, but they're not. Every time you choose discipline, you're strengthening it. Every time you win a small battle, you're making the next one easier. This is how discipline grows, not from one big decision, but from hundreds of small ones. Imagine this. You wake up, and instead of hitting snooze, you sit up immediately. That's one small victory. You make your bed instead of leaving it messy. That's another small victory. You drink a glass of water instead of scrolling through your phone. Another win. None of these actions take much effort, but they add up, and over time, these small wins create something bigger. They create momentum. The more disciplined you are in small things, the easier it becomes to be disciplined in big things. Because discipline isn't a switch you flip, it's a muscle you build. So tomorrow morning, don't think about changing your entire life. Just focus on one small win. One action that reinforces discipline. One step in the right direction. Because if you win the morning, you win the day. And if you win enough days, you win at life. How to create a Stoic morning routine that works for you. Now that we've covered the Stoic principles behind better mornings, it's time to put them into action. A morning routine shouldn't be something that feels forced, overwhelming, or unrealistic. It should be something that helps you feel in control, focused, and ready for the day ahead. And the best part? You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. You don't need to follow someone else's routine. You just need a system that works for you. A routine that aligns with your life, your goals, and your energy levels. And that's exactly what we're going to build, step by step. Step 1, prepare the night before. A good morning doesn't start in the morning. It starts the night before. The biggest mistake people make is assuming they'll have the energy and willpower to make great decisions first thing in the morning. But the truth is, mornings are easier when you remove the need to make decisions. The Stoics believe in control of what you can, and one thing you can control is how you set yourself up for success. Here's how. Decide your top priorities the night before. Instead of waking up and wondering what to do, have a clear plan. Write down your top 3 tasks of the day. Eliminate distractions. Put your phone on airplane mode. Keep your alarm across the room. Set up your environment to support discipline. Get quality sleep. No routine will work if you're constantly exhausted. Set a bedtime. Stick to it and avoid screens before bed. A smooth morning starts with smart preparation. Step 2. Wake up without the snooze button. The first challenge of the day happens the moment your alarm goes off. And the way you handle that moment sets the tone for everything that follows. If you hit snooze, you're already starting your day with hesitation. If you get up right away, you're starting your day with momentum. The Stoics believed in taking immediate action. Marcus Aurelius himself struggled with waking up early, but he reminded himself, "You were born to do this, so why resist?" To make this easier, keep your alarm far from your bed. This forces you to physically get up. Use the 5-second rule. The moment you wake up, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then move. No thinking, just action. Give yourself something to look forward to, whether it's a hot shower, a good book, or morning coffee. Have a reason to get up. Winning the morning starts with winning this moment. Step 3, start with a moment of stillness. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone. They flood their mind with notifications, emails, and stress before they even get out of bed. But the Stoics believed in starting the day with intention, instead of reacting to the world. Take a moment for yourself. Here's a simple Stoic practice. Sit in silence for 1 minute. Before doing anything, just breathe. Let your mind settle. Reflect on what truly matters. Ask yourself, what do I want to focus on today? What is within my control? Practice gratitude. The Stoics reminded themselves daily that life is temporary. Appreciate the day ahead instead of dreading it. This doesn't need to take long. Just 1 or 2 minutes can shift your entire mindset. Step 4. Move your body. Clear your mind. Your body and mind are connected. If you wake up feeling stiff, slow, and tired, it's hard to feel mentally sharp. That's why movement is key. It doesn't have to be an intense workout. It can be as simple as stretching for 2 minutes. Loosen up your body and get your blood flowing. A short walk, even a quick 5-minute walk, can wake you up and clear your mind. Cold water on your face. The Stoics embrace discomfort to build resilience. Splashing cold water on your face or taking a cold shower helps wake you up instantly. The goal isn't to push yourself too hard. It's just to activate your body and get yourself moving, because movement creates energy. Step 5. Set your intention for the day. Most people spend their mornings reacting to emails, messages, or the demands of others. The Stoics did the opposite. They started each day with clarity and intention. A simple way to do this is through journaling. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just take 1 minute to write down your main focus of the day. What is the most important thing to accomplish? A Stoic reminder. A simple truth to keep in mind, like, I can only control my actions, not the results. One thing you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your mindset from stress to appreciation. This small habit helps you start the day with purpose and direction. And when you start with purpose, you stay on track. Step 6. Avoid digital distractions. One of the biggest mistakes people make in the morning is checking their phone too soon. Emails, news, social media. These things flood your brain with external noise before you've had a chance to think for yourself. The Stoics practice mental clarity. And one of the best ways to do that is by staying offline for the first 30 minutes of your day. Instead of letting the world set your focus, decide your focus first. Because once you start your day with clarity, you carry that strength with you all day long. Step 7. Take action, no excuses. A morning routine means nothing if you don't follow through. And this is where the Stoics were relentless. They believed that action is the only thing that matters. Seneca said, "We should not waste our time in idle discussion. We should do what needs to be done." So instead of overthinking, just start. Even if you don't feel motivated, even if it's not perfect. Because once you take that first step, everything else becomes easier. A great morning routine isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about small habits that build momentum, discipline, and control over your life. So don't try to do everything at once. Start with one change, then build from there. Because once you learn to master your mornings, you'll realize something powerful. You're not just mastering your morning, you're mastering yourself. How to stay consistent without giving up. Building a morning routine is easy. Sticking to it, that's the real challenge. Most people start strong. They wake up early for a few days, follow their routine, and feel great. But then something happens. They wake up tired. They skip one step, then another, and before they know it, they're back to their old habits. Sound familiar? The problem isn't discipline. It's not motivation either. The real problem is how you approach the habit in the first place. Because if you expect perfection, you're setting yourself up for failure. And that's where most people go wrong. The danger of unrealistic expectations. The biggest mistake people make when trying to build a habit is expecting too much, too fast. They think that after 1 or 2 weeks, everything will feel easy. That discipline will suddenly become second nature. That motivation will always be there. But the Stoics understood something most people don't. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel motivated. Some days you won't. Some mornings you'll wake up energized. Other mornings you'll struggle to get out of bed. And that's normal. The problem is that most people see these difficult days as a failure. They think, I skip one morning, I ruin my routine. But in reality, skipping one morning doesn't matter. What matters is what you do next. Because the Stoics didn't expect perfection. They expected effort. They knew that discipline isn't about being flawless. It's about showing up even when it's hard. And that's what separates the people who succeed from the people who give up. So instead of expecting a perfect streak, expect obstacles. And when you hit one, don't quit. Adjust, adapt, and keep going. Because the real goal isn't perfection. The real goal is progress. The importance of self-reflection. One of the most powerful tools the Stoics used to stay on track was self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most disciplined men in history, wrote in his journal every single day. Why? Because he understood that growth doesn't just happen. You have to learn from your own experience. So instead of blindly repeating the same mistakes, he asked himself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? And that's exactly what you should do, too. Because the only way to stay consistent is to understand what's working and what's not. So take a minute every evening to reflect. If you skip your routine, ask yourself why. If you struggled, figure out what made it harder. If you succeeded, recognize what helped you stay on track. This simple practice helps you adjust and improve over time, because discipline isn't just about doing the same thing every day. It's about learning, adapting, and getting better. How to create a system that makes discipline easier. Most people rely on willpower to stay consistent, but willpower is unreliable. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you won't. And if your routine depends on how you feel, it will never last. That's why the Stoics focus on systems instead of willpower. They designed their lives in a way that made discipline the easy choice. And you can do the same. Here's how. Make it automatic. Set a fixed wake-up time. Keep your morning routine simple. The less you have to think, the easier it is to follow. Reduce friction. Lay out your clothes the night before. Place your journal where you can see it. The fewer steps between you and your habit, the more likely you are to do it. Create accountability. Tell someone about your routine. Check in with a friend. When others know your goal, it's harder to quit. Make it rewarding. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. The more you recognize your effort, the more motivated you'll be to continue. Because discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about designing your environment so that the right choices become effortless. And when you do that, consistency stops being a struggle. It becomes second nature. Staying consistent isn't about being perfect. It's about sticking with it, even when it's hard. It's about reflecting on your progress, learning from mistakes, and setting yourself up for success. So don't wait for motivation. Don't chase perfection. Just take the next step. Because the more you show up, the stronger you become. And before you know it, what once felt difficult will become a way of life. Master your mornings. Master your life. By now, you understand that a powerful morning routine isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. It's not about forcing yourself into extreme habits or trying to be perfect every single day. It's about consistency, intention, and discipline. It's about building a system that works for you. Because the way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. The Stoics didn't wake up chasing motivation. They woke up with purpose. They didn't waste energy on things outside their control. They focused on what they could control. Their mindset, their actions, and their response to whatever the day brought. And that's exactly what you can do. If you take just one thing from this video, let it be this. Small habits lead to big changes. Winning your mornings isn't about making radical transformations overnight. It's about making one better choice at a time. Choosing to get out of bed instead of hitting snooze. Choosing to start your day with intention instead of chaos. Choosing to focus on progress instead of perfection. These small choices, repeated daily, create discipline. And discipline creates freedom. Because when you control your mornings, you control your life. Your next step. Now it's time to take action. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. So here's your challenge. For the next 5 days, commit to just one of the Stoic morning principles we covered. It could be avoiding your phone for the first 30 minutes, preparing the night before, waking up without hitting snooze, writing down your top 3 priorities for the day. Pick one, stick to it, see what changes, because the only way to build discipline is to start. Join the conversation. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments. Which morning habit are you going to focus on first? Your experience might inspire someone else to take action. And if you want more content like this, practical Stoic wisdom for real life, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. There's much more to learn, and this is just a beginning. So let's keep growing, let's keep improving, and let's build a life of discipline, focus, and purpose, one morning at a time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.